Like, take that rocks. Tomorrow night, it'll be packed this.
And to be just.
To the flag of the United States of America. To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Early Logan,
Present.
Page,
Here.
Painter,
Yes.
Wolfersberger,
Here.
Cummins.
Yes. Great, is there any public comment? Welcome again. Welcome both of you guys. All right, we have our consent agenda, which is the minutes from the January 14th meeting and approval of the bills. Well, is there any discussion or any questions? If not, is there a motion? I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda. Second.
Page,
Yes.
Painter,
Yeah.
Wolfersberger,
Yes.
Cummins.
Yeah.
Motion passed 4-0.
New business, we are not going to be discussing electronic sign. We decided to just go ahead and pull that from the time being now. If that's something you guys want to consider right now, it didn't appear to be a consensus to, it was like a one-time deal kind of a thing with that sign. So, but if it's, something to consider later on, we can bring it forward, get bids, look at locations, do all the things that some of their, concerns were. So, but we're not going to work on that at this point. Item number 2, consideration of the special MFT resolution for funds for the connection on Elm Street. Joe kind of explained that in the packet on why we're going about doing that. Do you have anything else to add to that, Joe? It's mostly kind of informality on how to proceed moving forward with those motor fuel funds.
And also just to recap that doing the Elm Street improvements along with the stormwater improvements was a piecemeal effort with multiple funding sources. And one of those was the Elmway rebuild funds that we reallocated a few times here to make sure they didn't exceed the deadline that IDOT set for us. But as far as spending them as NFT dollars, we just passed this resolution with the mayor of city.
I make the motion to approve.
I'll second.
Painter,
Yes.
Wolfersberger,
Yes.
Cummins.
Yes.
Page,
Yes.
motion passed 4-0.
Right, old business, consideration of the bids for mowing of the field treatments. Just, you got that information in front of you. I know we had a couple of questions on the bids. Are these all for per service, per each mowing time?
Yes.
Okay.
Which is it?
Good changes.
Yeah, that's trouble. We were kind of excited thinking they were gonna get off pretty cheap there, but.
No, those are from 24. So the ones in that here are updated. I just gave those as a comparison to what
And in the package, the new
Yeah.
bids, okay.
Yeah, and that's still for Mo. And I'm parsing through the hours in our system right now to get a staff time estimate, and then I'll have a more solid estimate of our internal costs. But if you say 16 mows roughly, maybe 20, I don't know, in that ballpark, it's kind of what you're looking at.
When they do the application on here, is it, how often do they do them?
It's a set number per, so in the, I have to look at the bid, it's a set number per. Bid.
I mean, is that something that, if we were to, I don't know if we would, but if we sub out the mowing,
could they, I mean, is it just something that, you know, like we do at home, where you put it in the thing and you spread it out?
I think you have to be certified to do that.
How you do?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
I'm not, I don't know why I said that. I mean, there's something that I recall from the past or.
I agree. I think there's certain applications that you have to have the certifications for.
I know that people that own lawn companies have to have those.
Well, I'm just, they put on, you know, they come out with the sprayers or.
Right, but they have to
whatever.
be certified to do that. They can't just.
Okay. Well, I would say we table this, so, A, you've got two people missing and. Kind of wait on the numbers that. You were gonna come up with.
Or Mike Peters.
Yeah. Come up with what it's costing us to have it mowed currently.
it won't be a exact figure.
No,
Right.
it's
It'll be
something
close.
close.
Right, approximate.
Yeah, I'm not asking for
Based on
exact,
their
just something
wages,
close
and
to
time,
say-
and it's just.
I mean, the
The
ballpark.
lowest one,
Yeah.
here's what, well, that one doesn't even include the sports complex, so.
Yeah, we'll have more solid estimates, but if there's is there any questions about this that I can also have the information for you, so you'll be. Decision ready next meeting, is there anything you think about? Or if you don't know right now, you can always email me, and I can try to get that information for you before. The next meeting.
I would just love a comparison, even if we were gonna pay a little bit more and it freed up guys, then I'm on my way out, but I'm probably all for it, but, if it's not even close, then I think you just gotta keep on doing what we're doing.
Okay. Well, if there's I'll get this refined information for you, but if you have any more questions, I'm happy to get that.
Okay, so in regards to the spraying. You guys have any questions?
That's when we split up last year, right? We had the baseball field done by outdoor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thought behind it was that they were gonna kind of see, because it was quite a bit more. To have the one over the other to do it, and had decided to do it that way to kind of see if we noticed a noticeable difference or not. I don't,
Did anybody say anything?
I've not heard anything. Joe, did anyone say anything to you?
Nobody complained, is what I noticed, that we didn't have anybody complaining about it.
In years past, we had, yeah, maybe we did.
I haven't got any compliments, but I haven't got any complaints, so
Yeah,
that might be.
That's okay. Isn't that usually how it goes? So,
Are you all leaning towards awarding them in the same way that you did last year, sort of, or is that?
Is that what you have down there?
I kind of gave you what you did last year, and, if you wanted to do,
Was this number pretty close to last year, or has it gone up quite a bit?
it's gone up like everything else, but not anything that really. I didn't notice anything that really screamed out to me, but
Where did I read somewhere that you said there's some part that's gonna be a deficit or? Did I make that up or?
Well, it's a deficit every year, I think is what he said, wasn't
in the parks fund, yeah,
it? Yeah.
Yes.
yeah,
So it's just, that will just continue until. we get
it'll be
it.
supplemented out of the general fund.
So are we looking at, raising any of the fees that we pass on for the usage? Are we just keeping our numbers the same? What are we doing with all that?
If you want me to go and put together some rate increases, I can do that, and y'all can consider them at the next meeting.
I think that you have to, if they're gonna raise them to us, I think we've got to pass it along even, because we're always in a deficit.
Okay, I can look at and bring you something next time.
But for the baseball and softball fields. You've got for outdoor solutions is like almost $7,000. But it looks like Spray Green was only gonna charge like 4,500.
because they both come to the table with different strengths, different experiences, and the high schools have asked that we, am I correct? The high schools have asked that we follow the ones who have better experience because of the conditions that they've been in? Is that,
I think
Is that
we just
right,
thought
or-
we would give it a try because we always had complaints. And that's what we were talking about, that we didn't have compliments, but we didn't have complaints, which is a compliment.
Right,
The-
they're $2,500 more.
Yes, yeah.
So this has been the conversation since before, for a long time.
Mhm.
And even before I got here, the board's been having this same conversation. And last year, if I remember correctly, your all's assessment was, we're gonna increase this other provider, Professional Outdoor Solution, is viewed as more specialized towards athletic fields.
Mhm.
And you all were gonna spend extra money on certain areas to see if it was a noticeable improvement.
so how do we go back and look at that and see?
It's just like he said, he didn't have complaints this year. So,
And I'm not playing on the fields, so believe it or not. So the condition of them is
When is the sports meeting that you have coming up?
7.
The 7th of February?
we could hold off till after that, you could ask them if they feel
Yeah.
like the fields were better.
Maybe if we get some input on them, what their thoughts are on the field now.
And if they
Well,
go
that
that
one
$2,500 better, you know,
Yeah.
it's, I mean, to me, it has to be a noticeable difference. I mean, I get it that we didn't get any complaints, but for us to spend $2,500 more.
But I would
Somebody
say-
better say, that grass looks damn good.
Well, I would say, Bill, you can't, you're not gonna build Rome in a year, it's something
Right.
that you have to
Right.
build up and make it better and. Maybe he's on the right path, again, I don't plan on being there, but I'm just saying, I think he had mentioned that to us before, that. It's not like he's gonna come in and the next year it's gonna be wonderful, he's gonna start doing something different than the other guys did, and. You're gonna notice a change after a little bit.
And if you read through his paperwork that he's submitted to, I mean, he's. Kind of got a different concept on how he goes about doing things.
He doesn't walk out there with a sprayer and spray it and walk away.
Right.
I mean, that's the whole difference, I would say.
He does the field out for the 152.
Yeah, I think he does out there. At Judah Christian or whatever, I know.
I think
he
it would be
takes
a
care
good
of it.
idea to get the input from the people from the sports, the meeting. They say, okay. That's good.
You all right with that?
Yeah, that's all.
Do we have a deadline we would let them know, or?
No, I told him, I told everybody that put in, and everybody that asked me that I would make a decision this meeting, but the first meeting in February, I should be.
Well, moving right along, to the administrator, in your package, you have the staff report and Joe's report. Joe, do you have anything to add to that?
If you have any questions for me, just let me know.
I did drive by the boat graveyard and it looks way better.
They did a good job.
Yeah.
cleaning it up.
Huge difference.
Yeah, it's amazing. You get that stuff out of there and how good it looks. Yeah.
You can just see the hotel there now, can't you? Laura, did you get that?
The lot is big, once you get all the stuff cleared off of it.
It
So,
does look bigger with all that crap gone.
yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't, now that it's gone, I don't think people realize how much stuff was on it.
Well, it was so grown up too, you couldn't see it.
Exactly, I mean, it was so much trees and weeds and stuff, it was hard to tell really what was even there. I don't think people had any idea how many boats and things were stuck in all that mess, so. But it's unfortunate, I mean, I'm so thankful that we were getting it done, and I appreciate all the hard work that the guys have done to get it to that point, but. It's just sad that, we've had it there for so darn long, it's, that's how those things go, though, you let things go, and then when you finally tackle it, it's like, wow, that's so refreshing, so nice. So I'm just thankful that we're there. So it's good to be getting it done. So, Mark, do you have anything to add?
Do not?
Okay. Mike?
No.
No? Public Works report is in the paperwork. I have nothing to report. Joe and I have been working on a few things here in the office. Getting some things knocked out that have popped up here in the last week or two that have not been fun. If anyone wants to ask me about those, I mean, I can share that with you, but we've been busy. And so, but other than that, all is good. So, trustees.
I have a question for Joe, about the church, about getting an appraisal to see what it's worth to sell as is.
I can do that.
We did have a meeting with a couple in town here that was inquiring about it. So it might not be a bad thing to kind of have that in the back of our mind, but I do think you need to kind of put your ideas and thoughts together on what some of your thoughts might be towards that building and what you maybe would like to see happen with it too, so that we can start thinking about what may or may not need to be done with that, but.
I mean, if a business wanted to come in and, purchase it, because what I don't want to do is spend a ton of money to remodel it or get it up to code or whatever needs to be done, and then be in the and then lease it out to somebody, be in the tenant business. But my guess is that anybody who might want to put a business there probably also doesn't have the money to.
The tricky part of it is just not zone commercial.
Right, that was gonna be my question, is business comes in, has the money, says, I'll spend the money on it, I'll rehab it, myself. Is it then, or, what are you gonna do about zoning?
Right.
Cause I'm sure the neighborhood doesn't want
Exactly.
it turned into a business.
So, and it would depend on what kind of business, because there's, possibility of special use type fees for various different things. Similar to what was done at the Philo Bank, special use ties to the property and whatever it goes in there, so it kind of protects the neighborhood a little more, that the neighbors might be a little more open-minded to something like that, but.
Is there any thing that says we should offer it back to the family who gave it to us if we're not gonna use it for a community building? Cause I would hate to sell it when they could have sold it and we profit from it when they thought they were giving it to us for a community building. I mean, I don't know if it's worth a discussion just to say, hey, we don't have the money to rehab this, to make it a community building. We're thinking about selling it. Do you want it back?
There wasn't any stipulations in that.
There are no restrictions on it. It was given to us by a church. So, that doesn't mean anything other than you talk to the family representatives, but it's not their church, it's the church's church.
How much are the taxes on it, do you know off the top of your head? I mean, I can look it up, but I just didn't know if you have.
I don't have it on the top of my head.
It
but
should be zero because it was a church, now it's us.
Yeah, but
Okay,
yeah, but so do appraisals expire out of curiosity, to your knowledge?
If a bank's gonna rely on it, it won't rely on an old one, but the appraisal is a value as of a point in time. And appraisal will be stale, but it's,
For our purposes.
for our purposes, we're fine.
So if we went ahead and did it, we were good for a period of time. They won't.
Yeah, it's a frame of reference for us. I mean, as long as you've got, I think it's a 3/4 vote, you're fine on sale if you were to sell it.
Okay.
Depends on how you want to sell it, so.
But we have to have an appraisal to sell it, or is it just to buy?
it depends on how we're selling it. So if we put it out for bid or put it out for a request for proposals, we wouldn't have to. Normally, you're gonna get a recommendation from me that you get an appraisal for no reason, other reason than it's best practices. But if we put it out, or if we are going to market it, and we have an appraisal on it, then we, can sell it with a smaller majority of the board. But we're limited to selling it for no less than 80% of the appraisal. So there's like a whole myriad of these kinds of things.
So I guess the question that, the trustee Page brought up is do you guys want me to go ahead and get that going? Or what do you all want to do with that? Cause I can reach out and get that started.
I mean, what else are we gonna do with the building?
Yeah, we can't
Well,
fix it up. You can
well,
reach out and talk to them though.
the only thing I could see is that he's saying if we get it appraised and then we wanna sell it and they lowball us, we can't sell it for any less than 80% of what it appraised for. At this point, it'd just be our own judgment. If somebody comes in and offers us $100,000 and we think it's worth $100,000, we can let it go. Or whatever we want to let it go for, but once you get an appraisal, then you're kind of locked into at least
Not
80%.
necessarily, Max, if you have enough votes, so we put it out. We
Okay.
normally, yeah, I mean, I think it's a good idea to get it appraised, just because it's the people's money. It's the people's asset, and you want some benchmark. It's a little different if you put it out for requests for proposals and you're seeing who's gonna do a really cool creative thing with the property. And I come into town and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna keep the building and make it something that's really appealing to the community. Then you could sell it to me for a pretty discounted amount, or possibly give it to you, but you'd have a contract with me that locks me into doing what I said I was gonna do with it, right? And that's the beauty of the request for the proposals. But no matter what, you wanna reference something, and having the appraisal helps you reference something.
I concur with Mark to get an appraisal.
And I'm guessing it's gonna cost you about $1,500. The appraisal will be some number like that.
Did you sign in?
No, I didn't, but
You can sign in. Jim,
The trustee spoke.
What's your address?
My address is 1715 Magnolia. When you talk about appraisal, what are you appraising? You're appraising the farmland or the building? Because it's all one pin. So you might want to specify what you're getting an appraisal on. I'm just throwing that out there.
I had no intention of getting the farmland appraised because I feel like that has strategic importance for us, so I was just in structure. That's why I did all this.
I agree.
If that's everybody's good with that. So, but
Anything else, trustees? If not, I have nothing else on the agenda, so is there a motion?
So move.
Motion to adjourn.